butterflies that flutter in my chest, a bunny's warmth around my heart at rest. The fear dissolves, I finally can see. Safe harbor found for my whole family. Andestolian funeral dignifies traveling the road that death defies to the pride.
With all the dire predictions about the destruction of the ecosphere, it is hard sometimes to contemplate marriage and children. What if Cousin Zeb's efforts to save the planet fail? Would we not be consigning our children to a most difficult future, shortened by the natural disasters brought on by catastrophic climate change? Even as these thoughts come to me, I feel as if a warm blanket is placed around my shoulders, giving me comfort, helping me to know that Deity is with us, now and always. I have to have faith that Deity will take care of us. Emerald Amethyst Zakarian, Apprentice Essay.
Small fingers brushed softly against Angel's cheek, bringing her out of sleep. She opened her eyes to Misty's cherubic features. The toddler grinned, giggling at her success in waking up her favorite sister. Angel sat up straight, stifling a yawn. Gregorio was already awake across the room, busy changing Melody's diaper with practiced hands.
I would have done that,
Angel said, a note of chagrin in her voice. He finished and handed Melody over to Angel.
I have been missing Benzeric, my boy, so it felt good to give it a go. I must admit, I did not realize just how different the terrain would be. Changing a girl's diaper is not quite the same as a boy.
She laughed. As she glanced around the room, Misty had settled on the floor, absorbed in a Beauty and the Beast coloring book. Serenity still slept, a gold and purple blanket tucked around her.
We will be arriving in Estolia in about 10 minutes,
he said.
I am very much looking forward to being with Wraith again.
His expression grew somber.
We will have a service for your mother right away.
Angel looked at Misty and Melody.
The little ones won't get it.
She mumbled. Her gaze found Serenity.
Serenity'll have the hardest time, I think.
Nobody will tell her what to feel or how to act. She can sit in the carriage if she would like.
Gregorio reassured her. As the jet prepared to land, he explained,
We are landing at the Amador Airport. Pequeño is the main airport, but we will bypass that. From Amador, it is about a 40-minute journey to the Royal Cemetery by carriage.
By the time they landed, Serenity was awake. Angel held Melody in her arms, and Gregorio had Misty. When the flight attendant opened the door, Angel felt the strangest sensation of homecoming as she breathed in the sweet scent of Estolia. She glanced at Serenity, who closed her eyes and took a deep breath. The two girls shared a quiet moment of understanding. They were finally safe.
Come on, girls, let us go say hello to Wraith.
Gregorio looked eager to rejoin his wife. Her mother and her different stepdads never acted like that. When Gregorio saw Wraith standing on the tarmac, his expression changed from active searching to a glow of happiness that seemed to billow out from him, encompassing Angel and her sisters in a feeling of immense joy and satisfaction and anticipation. A momentary disorientation swept over her. She felt like a whole herd of butterflies in her stomach wanted to escape and sing a lullaby in her ear, like her heart was being cuddled by a baby bunny. She stopped halfway down the stairs, and Gregorio paused to look up at her.
Are you okay, Angel?
She nodded.
We really get to stay here with you, forever?
She asked. Her voice trembled. She was afraid to hope.
Yes, Angel. The deepest desire of Wraith's heart and of my own is that we adopt the four of you. And if you want, that you might consider calling me your dad, and Wraith your mum. I went to the United States to find you four and bring you with me to Estolia. Even before we learned about your mum, that is what we wanted.
She met his eyes, seeing a sincerity in them that increased that soft feeling around her heart. Her lip trembled emotionally. She was safe. She smiled, a little wobbly, but then her attention shifted to Melody in her arms. She started back down the stairs, followed by the others. When she touched the land of Estolia, she felt as if a jolt of love washed right up her legs, blasting through her heart. Wraith was coming towards them with a couple of other people, but Angel's attention was focused entirely on her aunt. Once Serenity was safely down the stairs, Gregorio set Misty on her feet and quickly closed the distance to his wife. It was fascinating to watch the way they greeted each other, held each other. When they were done, the two turned to where the four girls were, with Misty holding Serenity's hand and Melody in Angel's arms.
We missed you, Mom.
Angel said. Wraith came up to them, gathering them close for a group hug.
I'm so glad you could come. I didn't know you were on your way. Having you four in my life is the best surprise I could ever wish for.
Serenity looked from Wraith to Gregorio and said,
You're our mom and dad now?
Yes, Serenity, we are your parents.
Wraith said. Angel watched her sister's face and felt light as a feather at the look she saw. She and Serenity and Misty and Melody were going to be safe here in Estolia. Her biggest fear in life, aside from her own safety, was the fear that she could not keep Serenity safe. Once the four girls were settled in the large open carriage, Angel watched as her mother's casket was carefully unloaded from the second airplane and placed in a dark, covered carriage pulled by a team of 4 large draft horses that would transport her mother to her final resting place. They traveled toward the cemetery in quiet reverence. As the carriages moved along the mountain's flank, away from the rising sun, Gregorio gestured toward the slope above them.
Mount Zacharias and the cathedral are on the other side of this mountain, Mount Estoliana. The cemetery lies in the foothills between it and Lake Eternity.
When they arrived, Angel noted details she'd overlooked at the airport. Her mother's carriage was pulled by 4 massive black horses with white blazes down their noses, their enormous hooves surrounded by well-groomed feathering in black and white that matched the large black feather plumes rising between their ears from each bridle. The harnesses gleamed with polished metal fittings. They were dignified, more dignified than anything Angel could remember from her mother's life.
An Estolian funeral dignifies, traveling the road that death defies, to the promised future deity provides, as each soul is gifted with the grand design.